Used EVs have never been cheaper, and most buyers are still sleeping on it. Prices are down, batteries are proven, and some of these deals make zero sense to ignore. Here's exactly what I'd buy if it were my own money. Let me be straight with you. If I were walking into the used EV market today, I wouldn't just open a browser, filter by lowest price, and call it a day. That's how people end up with a car they regret. There are three things I'd actually care about. First, proven reliability. Not promises from a press release. Real-world data from people who have owned these cars for years. Second, real-world range. Not the optimistic EPA number, but what the car actually delivers on a normal day in normal conditions. And third, value after depreciation. Some EVs lose value so fast that buying one used at the right moment is almost unfair to the original owner. Those are the ones worth hunting. Getting the right used EV matters far more than just getting a cheap one. A cheap car with a degraded battery, limited charging options, a brand with no service infrastructure isn't a deal. It's a problem you paid for. With that framework in mind, here are the 5 I'd actually consider, ranked from solid budget choice to the one I'd probably spend my money on. Number 5. Budget pick. Chevrolet Bolt EV. If your priority is getting the most capable used EV for the least amount of money, the Bolt EV is the answer, and it's not even close. You can find used Bolt EVs regularly under $20,000, sometimes well under. For a car with 250 plus miles of real-world range, solid build quality, and a genuinely practical interior, that price is hard to process. A few years ago, this car was selling for twice that. Here's the thing that makes the Bolt even more compelling as a used buy: the battery recall. GM issued a battery replacement program from earlier Bolt models, meaning many used Bolts on the market today are running on brand new battery packs, ones with zero degradation. You're essentially getting a fresh battery in a used car at a used car price. That's a significant advantage most buyers don't think to check for, but it matters enormously for long-term ownership. The Bolt is one of the most efficient EVs ever built relative to its price. It's a compact car, so it's not going to win any cargo space competitions. But for daily commuting and weekend driving, it covers everything most people actually need. The charging speed sits around 55 kilowatts on DC fast, which is slower than newer options. But if your charging mostly happens at home overnight, that number becomes far less relevant. For anyone entertaining the EV space on a genuine budget, the Bolt EV is one of the smartest used car purchases available right now, full stop. Number 4. Safe daily choice, Volkswagen ID.4. Some people don't want to take any risk with a used car purchase. They want something comfortable, practical, well-built, and simple to live with every single day. For that person, the ID.4 is the answer. Volkswagen assembled the ID.4 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and built it around a straightforward ownership experience. The ride is composed and comfortable. The interior space is genuinely generous. This is a proper SUV with room for passengers and cargo without compromise. The 12.9 touchscreen is clean and intuitive, and the IQ Drive driver assistance suite comes standard, giving you adaptive cruise, lane keeping, and automatic emergency braking without having to option into a higher trim. The range figure on the Pro variant hits 291 miles EPA estimated, which puts it comfortably in the range where real-world driving doesn't produce anxiety. AWD variants are available for those who want added confidence in poor weather. What makes the ID.4 particularly attractive as a used buy is how much it's depreciated. New, this car starts at above $45,000. On the used market, well-maintained examples are available at a significant discount, which means you're getting a feature-rich, spacious, comfortable electric SUV for a fraction of what early adopters paid. It's not flashy, it won't be the fastest car on the road, but if you want a used EV that simply works, every day in every condition without drama, the ID.4 is about as low risk as it gets. Number 3. Underrated pick, Hyundai Ioniq 5. This one doesn't get enough credit in used EV conversations, and that gap is an opportunity for buyers who pay attention. The Ioniq 5 is built on Hyundai's 800-volt electrical architecture. That matters more than most people realize. While the majority of EVs on the market charge at 400 volts and therefore max out at around 150 to 200 kilowatts of DC fast charging, the Ioniq 5 can accept up to 350 kilowatts at compatible chargers. In practical terms, that means significantly shorter charging stops on road trips. You're adding meaningful range in the time it takes to use the restroom and grab a coffee. The technology inside is modern in a way that still feels current even in older model years. The dual 12-inch screens, one for the driver display, one for infotainment, are sharp and well integrated. The interior uses a flat floor design, which gives rear passengers a level of legroom that surprises people who haven't sat in one. Hyundai's connected car navigation system supports over-the-air software updates, so the car continues to improve after purchase. Range on the larger 84 kilowatt battery reaches 354 miles under WLTP testing. Real-world figures vary, but owners consistently report a respectable range across mixed driving conditions. The Ioniq 5 launched to strong reviews and was immediately in high demand, which means early models have gone through real-world proving. The feedback from long-term owners has been solid, and as the market has matured and newer Hyundai EVs have arrived, used Ioniq 5 prices have come down to a point where the value proposition is genuinely strong. If you want modern technology, fast charging, and a genuinely practical interior, the Ioniq 5 used is one of the most complete packages available at its current price point. Before we go any further, if this kind of breakdown is useful to you, hit subscribe. There's more EV content coming that cuts through the marketing and gets to what actually matters for buyers. Number 2. Premium Value Polestar 2. The Polestar 2 occupies an interesting position in the used EV market. It was priced at a premium when new, which means it depreciated hard, which means buying it used feels almost unreasonably good. Polestar is Volvo's performance-focused electric brand, and the build quality on the 2 reflects that lineage. The interior uses responsibly sourced materials with a Scandinavian minimalism that still feels premium years later. There's a Bowers & Wilkins audio system in properly equipped variants that's genuinely excellent. Google's built-in ecosystem, including Android Auto, Maps, and voice control, is deeply integrated rather than bolted on as an afterthought. Performance on the dual-motor variant is serious, 0 to 100 in 4.2 seconds, up to 350 kilowatts of power. This is a car with real performance credentials, not a family wagon with performance badging. The design holds up. The fastback roofline still looks distinctive. The interior hasn't dated in the way some EVs from the same era have. What makes it compelling as a used purchase is simple. The original buyers paid a lot for this car. You don't have to. The depreciation curve on the Polestar 2 has been steep, and that slope is entirely your advantage when shopping used. You're accessing luxury EV build quality, genuine performance, and a premium brand experience at a price that significantly undercuts what the car originally demanded. For buyers who want something that feels elevated without paying new prices for the privilege, the Polestar 2 used is one of the best value plays in the entire EV segment right now. And at number 1, the one I'd actually buy. Tesla Model Y. If I had to write one check today for one used EV, this is where it goes. The Model Y's case isn't built on one exceptional feature. It's built on doing everything well, consistently, with an ownership infrastructure behind it that no competitor has matched. Start with range. The rear-wheel drive Model Y delivers 321 miles, according to the EPA. That's not a marketing number. For a variant nobody buys. That's the base car. In real-world driving, Model Y owners consistently report one of the lowest range anxiety experiences of any EV on the market. Then there's the supercharger network. Over 80,000 global superchargers with 99% uptime. When you're on a road trip and need to charge, the question with a Tesla is where, not whether. That reliability gap between Tesla's charging infrastructure and everyone else's is still significant, and for used car buyers, it's arguably the most underappreciated advantage in the segment. The 74 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seats folded makes it genuinely practical for families. 5 adult seating, a 15.4-inch center touchscreen, over-the-air software updates that have improved the car meaningfully since launch, the onboard entertainment system, camp mode, Sentry mode, and the Tesla app ecosystem all continue working on used vehicles. The drivetrain has fewer moving parts than any other comparable gas vehicle. There are no oil changes, no tune-ups, no transmission fluid. The battery and drive unit warranty runs 8 years or 100,000 miles on applicable configurations. Maintenance costs on the Model Y are among the lowest in the entire vehicle market, not just the EV segment. And then there's the used market pricing itself. The Model Y has depreciated in a way that makes older examples genuinely accessible, with the car losing what made it worth buying in the first place. You're getting a vehicle with a proven charging network, strong range, practical space, and continuous software development. at a price that reflects market correction rather than any actual decline in the car's capability. That combination, range, infrastructure, reliability, practicality, and accessible used pricing is why the Model Y is the answer when the question is what I'd actually buy. Here's what I would personally avoid. Not every used EV deal is a good deal. Some look attractive on paper and become problems in the driveway. Skip first-generation models from the early 2010s. We're talking 60 to 80 miles of real-world range, degraded battery packs, and charging infrastructure that becomes obsolete. The price is low for a reason. Also, avoid anything that maxes out at 50 kilowatts DC fast charging. On a road trip, that becomes a real problem fast. And finally, avoid any used EV where you can't verify actual battery health. Some sellers will quote range from original window sticker. What you need is the current battery capacity, what the car can actually deliver today, not what it could do when it left the factory. A degraded battery isn't always obvious from the outside, and a 15% capacity loss on a 200-mile car is 30 miles you didn't know you were losing. Avoiding the wrong used EV matters just as much as finding the right one. Why used EVs makes so much sense right now. EVs depreciate faster than gas cars, and that's entirely your advantage as a used buyer. The cars on this list are not compromised products. They're proven. Modern EVs with mature software, understood battery chemistry, and real ownership data behind them. Operating costs are lower across the board. No oil changes, minimal brake wear, electricity cheaper than gas, fewer parts that need replacing over time. The depreciation has already happened. The reliability has already been proven. The infrastructure is already there. The only question is whether to take advantage of it. Drop a comment below. Which of these 5 would you go for? If you're already driving a used EV, tell me what it is and whether you'd buy it again. Subscribe for more EV content that skips the noise and gets straight to what matters.